For nearly 2 decades, Mark and I had built a life together. No children, by choice. Just 2 careers, a shared home in the Chicago suburbs, and what I once thought was an equal partnership. He was an accountant. I was a project manager, and we both worked long hours, contributing equally to the life we had built. Also, I believed. His parents, Margaret and Bill, had never accepted me. From the day of our wedding, Margaret made it clear I wasn't the kind of woman she had envisioned for her son. She criticized my dress, my cooking, the way I spoke, if she acknowledged me at all. Bill wasn't cruel, but he lived in a world where women served and men took. He never lifted a finger, never said thank you, never made eye contact unless he needed something. Still, I tried. I played the dutiful daughter-in-law, smiled through gritted teeth at family gatherings, ignored their thinly veiled insults, and tolerated their cold indifference for the sake of my marriage. I thought that's what love required. Then Margaret had a stroke. It wasn't catastrophic, but it left her weaker, unable to manage daily tasks on her own. Bill, already in his late 70s, wasn't capable of caring for her. They needed help, and I soon discovered that I had been elected, without my input, to be their full-time caregiver. Mark sat me down one evening, his tone somber as if he were delivering tragic news. "They can't live on their own anymore," he said. I nodded, expecting a conversation about hiring a nurse, exploring assisted living options, something rational. Instead, he looked me in the eye and said, "You should move in with them." For a moment, I thought he was joking. I actually laughed. "Move in? You mean visit them more?" "No," he said, his face serious. "I mean live with them. Full-time. Take care of them." Silence stretched between us as I stared at him, waiting for him to realize how absurd that sounded. "You want me to quit my job? To become their nurse?" "They need help, Claire. So hire help. They don't trust strangers." "Then you do it." He scoffed. "I work full-time." "So do I." "That's different." Of course, different, because his job mattered. His time, his energy, his ambitions, valuable. Mine, disposable. I told him no. The next day, his entire family descended upon our home. His mother, his father, his sister, his aunt, even his cousin, who had barely spoken to me before. They packed into my living room like an intervention, their faces set in grim determination. Margaret, frail and pale, looked at me as if I owed her something. His sister took charge. "You married into this family. This is your duty." I laughed. "My duty?" Margaret nodded. "I took care of my in-laws when they got old. Now it's your turn." "I work full-time." "You can quit," his aunt chimed in. "And live off what?" Mark finally spoke. "I'll take care of you, babe." The same man who grumbled when I bought groceries that weren't on sale, who panicked over unexpected expenses. The same man who had relied on me to manage our home, our finances, our entire life while he simply existed in it. His father sighed, shaking his head. "Women today don't have the same values." His mother sniffled. "This is why marriages fall apart these days." His sister crossed her arms. "You took vows, Claire, in sickness and in health." I took vows for my husband, not his entire family. And then the truth emerged. Mark's sister wouldn't do it. She had her own life, her own children, and she wasn't about to let her world be upended. But mine was fair game. I stood. "I'm not doing this." Margaret gasped like I had struck her. Mark's voice hardened. "Claire, this isn't optional." And something inside me broke. I looked at the man I had loved for 18 years and saw him clearly for the first time. I didn't love him anymore. Because how could you love someone who saw you as nothing more than a tool? I didn't yell. I didn't argue. I simply packed. While Mark slept, I gathered the things that mattered: my laptop, my personal documents, my clothes, the sentimental pieces that held meaning. I left my wedding ring on the dresser. Then I sat at the kitchen table and wrote a letter. "Dear Mark, for 18 years, I have been your wife. I have loved you. I have supported you. I have sacrificed for you. I have cooked. I have cleaned. I have played the perfect wife while your family treated me like nothing. I have been patient. I have been kind. I have given everything I had. And now, when I have nothing left to give, you expect more. I will not be your parents' caregiver. I will not be your servant. I was your partner, Mark. But you never saw me that way. By the time you read this, I'll be gone, and you will realize that the person who took care of everything was me. Sincerely, Claire. I left in the dead of night. No screaming, no tears, just cold, quiet resolve. I checked into a hotel across town with a bag of essentials, and for the first time in years, a heart that felt light, free. But it wasn't over. When I turned on my phone the next morning, the notifications flooded in. 32 missed calls. Voicemails from his mother, his sister, his aunt. A long, furious text from Mark starting with WTF, Claire. I ignored them all. Instead, I forwarded my work email to my personal account, contacted a divorce attorney, and called my landlord. Weeks ago, I had put a deposit down on an apartment. Maybe I had unconsciously admitted to myself that I was preparing to leave, but looking back, the signs had been there all along. The first real warning of what was to come arrived later that afternoon. A knock at my hotel door. My stomach lurched. Had Mark found me? I peeked through the peephole. My boss, Rachel. I opened the door. "This is weird," she said, shifting awkwardly. "But I just got a call from Mark." A slow dread settled in my chest. What did he say? Rachel sighed. "He told me you had a mental breakdown and quit your job. He wanted to know if I could send your work laptop home with him." Oh, so that's how he wanted to play. I exhaled. I didn't quit my job, and I'm not mentally unstable. "I figured," Rachel said, "but I needed to hear it from you." She hesitated. "Look, I don't know what's going on, but maybe take a few personal days. I'll block your access for now, just so he doesn't try anything." I nodded. "Thank you." Rachel studied me for a moment. Then, "Claire, if you need help, I know a great lawyer." I nearly laughed. "Already called one." She smiled. "Good, because I think is about to make your life hell." And she was right. The smear campaign began. His family painted me as a cool, heartless woman who abandoned her sick in-laws in their time of need. To my friends, Mark spun lies, claiming I was having an affair, that I had lost my mind and ran away. Then he tried to cut me off. He froze our joint account. But Mark had underestimated me. I had my own accounts, my own savings. I had planned for this. And when I didn't come crawling back, he escalated. 1 week after I left, he found me, and that was just the beginning. My heart nearly stopped. I scrambled to check my account, fingers shaking as I logged in. Everything was still there. Barely. Someone had tried to drain almost all of it. I knew exactly who it was. Mark still had my old passwords. Without wasting a second, I grabbed my phone and called the bank. The representative confirmed that the attempted transaction had been flagged as suspicious. When I asked where the login attempt had originated, their voice was casual, unaware of the ice flooding my veins. "Looks like the login was from your home address." My stomach dropped. My home. The house I had walked away from. The house Mark was still living in. Oh, he was bold. I locked everything down immediately, changing every password and freezing my accounts just in case. Then I called Sarah, my lawyer. She sighed, her voice sharp with restrained anger. "This is financial abuse. We can use this against him in court." A slow breath escaped my lips, my fingers gripping the phone tighter. Good, because I'm done playing nice. Mark had never imagined a world where I would leave him. He had assumed I would always be there, his safety net, his backup plan. But now that I was gone, he was unraveling, and I was just getting started. Mark had always insisted on handling the finances. His choice, not mine. Now, I was finally uncovering why. He had been drowning in debt for years. He had maxed out our joint credit card behind my back, taken out secret loans, and, unbelievably, he had gambled away our money, literally. I had spent 18 years making sacrifices, budgeting, being responsible, only to discover that Mark had been making reckless financial decisions all along. He had assumed that when things got bad, I would be there to fix it. But I wasn't there anymore. And suddenly, Mark was drowning. One morning, Sarah called me, her tone brimming with barely contained fury. I just got an interesting email, she said, voice tight, from Mark's lawyer. I frowned. What now? They are claiming you already signed divorce papers. For a moment, I thought I misheard her. My grip on the phone tightened. Excuse me. Sarah exhaled sharply. They sent over copies of the documents. The problem? They are forged. My blood ran cold. He forged my signature. Yes. And if we hadn't caught it, he could have used it to rush the process and cut you out of everything. I felt something inside me shift. This wasn't just about divorce anymore. This wasn't about him wanting to move on. This was about control. Mark had spent weeks turning people against me, playing the victim, painting me as a villain who had abandoned him and his sick parents. He had manipulated, lied, drained accounts, and now he was resorting to fraud to strip me of everything I had built. I took a slow breath. Can we fight this? Sarah actually laughed. A low, dark chuckle. Oh, Claire, we're going to destroy him. But I wasn't done yet. If Mark wanted to play dirty, then fine. Let's play. That night, I did some digging. There was an old shared email account Mark had forgotten about, one he never bothered to remove me from. I logged in, skimming through messages. It didn't take long to find it. An email from a woman. Subject line, I miss you. Are we ever going to tell her? My pulse pounded as I clicked. The message was short, but devastating. Mark, I can't keep doing this. I thought you said you were leaving her. Did you change your mind? Attached were photos. Mark with her. A weekend trip. A hotel room. A work trip he had sworn up and down was nothing but business. My blood went cold. All this time, he had been trying to ruin me. All this time, he had been the one with secrets. I took a deep breath, fingers gripping the edge of my desk. I had been patient. I had been kind. But now, I was going to end this. I forwarded the email to Sarah. The moment she saw it, she nearly cackled. This is perfect. We'll make sure the judge sees this. But I wasn't stopping there. Mark had spent weeks twisting the narrative, turning people against me. His family, mutual friends, even some of my colleagues. He had painted himself as a betrayed husband, the victim. So I decided it was time to set the record straight. Every year, Mark's family threw a massive anniversary party for his parents. Over 50 people gathered in one place. Family, friends, everyone who had taken his side in this mess. This year, since Margaret was still recovering from her stroke, they decided to hold the event at Mark's house. The house I used to live in. The house I had walked away from. So I decided to show up, uninvited. Sarah advised against it. Claire, we can win in court. You don't have to do this. But I wasn't just looking to win. I wanted them to see. I arrived just as dinner was being served. The second I stepped through the door, the room fell into stunned silence. Conversations died. Silverware clinked against plates, then stopped. Mark's face drained of color. His mother clutched her pearls like I was a devil himself. His sister sneered. Wow, look who finally showed up. Here to beg for forgiveness. I smiled. No, I'm here to return something. I pulled out a stack of printed emails. The one from his mistress sat on top. Then, in a voice clear and unwavering, I read it aloud. Mark, I can't keep doing this. I thought you said you were leaving her. Did you change your mind? Gasps rippled through the room. Mark lunged for me, but I stepped back, holding the papers just out of reach. Sit down, I said, my voice sharp, and for the first time in 18 years, Mark listened. His mother turned pale. Mark, she whispered, what is she talking about? I dropped the rest of the papers onto the dining table. Bank statements, loan records, proof of his attempted forgery. Your son, I said, looking Margaret straight in the eye, has been cheating on me, draining our accounts, and forging my signature to try and steal everything I worked for. The room exploded. Mark's aunt grabbed the papers, her eyes widening. These are real. Mark's father, Bill, the man who never lifted a finger, who never once acknowledged my efforts, stood up, face red with anger. You forged her signature. His voice was deadly quiet. Mark swallowed hard. Dad, listen. No. Bill's voice was firm, cold. You listen. You humiliated this family. You let us believe Claire was some selfish woman, and all along it was you. Mark stammered, looking around for support. But he got none. Even his sister, his biggest offender, stared at him in disgust. Wow, she muttered. I wasted my breath defending you. Margaret shook her head, looking sick. You told me she was crazy, she whispered. Mark turned to me, rage twisting his face. You came here to ruin my life. I smiled, a slow, satisfied smile. No, Mark, you did that all on your own. The fallout was swift. His family turned on him. His mistress vanished the moment she saw everything hit the fan. The court sided with me. Sarah made sure of that. Mark lost. Big time. I got the house. I sold it and used the money to start fresh. Mark, without me to clean up his messes, he lost his job. His debts caught up to him. He spiraled. Then, one day, months later, a message popped up from an unknown number. Mark, I get it now. I was wrong. Can we talk? I didn't reply. I blocked the number. I had already wasted 18 years on a man who only saw me as a resource. I wasn't going to waste another second. I walked away. And for the first time in my life,